Hi there, and welcome to another video. And this one today is all about reading labels. When you go to the grocery store and you're picking up food, cans or boxes or anything prepared, it's really important to learn to read the labels. So what is important about reading a label? Well, that's a very good question. The first thing to know is that the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has approved the ingredients and approved the labels. It has to be FDA approved before it's allowed to be sold to us. So what is a label and why should you read a label? That's a very good question. The main thing that I want to talk about reading labels is for two reasons. It's to avoid getting extra sugar into your body that is unnecessary, and it's to avoid all the chemicals, the artificial sweeteners, the preservatives, the things that aren't healthy, that don't nourish your body. So I want to just talk a little bit about the labels and what it actually means. So I've got a few cans here and I want to show you, okay, I've got a no-name brand of black beans. You can see it here. And this is a nutrition fact label. You can see it right there. And so I just want to explain a little bit about what goes on when you, or and what to look for when you're reading a label. So I'm going to tell you right now, the first thing it says is it's nutrition facts. And that's right. It's a nutrition facts table which the FDA has approved. Now, there's also an ingredient list that has to be on these packaged foods as well. So if the first rule of thumb is when you're trying to unprocess your diet is if you can't pronounce a word, it's probably not worth buying. It's too processed. There's too many unhealthy things in it to actually put into your body. So avoid things that you can't pronounce. Now this one, the black beans, I've showed it to you, it only has 4 ingredients. They are black beans, water, salt, and calcium chloride. And calcium chloride is another name for salt. So there's a couple of things that you really want to avoid when you're doing my program, when you're doing the 10-day weigh down or you're doing the weigh down lifestyle, and that is sugar, and you have to be careful of the sodium content. So sodium is salt, and too much sugar is like the white death. It's so addictive and it adds in weight gain. It's not healthy for your body to have too much sugar. The other thing is sodium. Sodium makes you retain fluid. It also aids in weight gain. So it's important to avoid sugar and sodium. Those things are processed, especially, well, any canned product has had some processing. But if you can avoid some of the unhealthy things that go along with it, you're better off. So this one only has the 4 ingredients. It's black beans, water, salt, and calcium. So I'm going to go down and just explain a little bit about what the nutrition facts actually are. The first thing you'll see is the serving size. This one says per half a cup. Then when you go right beneath it, it says calories. Now, how many calories there are means how many calories in that half a cup, not in the whole can. It's per half a cup, and that's really important to understand. Beside it says the percentage of daily value. Now, the percentage of daily value is typically based on a 2,000 calorie intake per day. If the number below the daily value percentage is less than 5, the FDA considers it to be low or little. If it's above 15, it's considered to be a lot. So somewhere in the middle, it stands to reason to say it's medium. So less than 5 is little, more than 15 is a lot. Okay, so let's look at the sugar content in this can of beans. Okay, so the sugar content in here is, I'm looking for it right now, is 0. That is a good can of beans to buy because there's no sugar in it. I'm going to show you another can of beans, which is refried beans here. And this one, the sugar content, this is El Paso, or Old El Paso, and the sugar content, got to find the label here, is 2. Okay, so 2 isn't so bad, it's a little bit, and the percentage of daily, oh, that one doesn't have that. So, okay, 2 isn't bad. Now let's take a look at the salt, sodium. Sodium in here, in this no-name brand of beans, there's no sugar. The sodium is 85 milligrams per half a cup, which is 4%. So remember, 5 and under is little, so that's not bad, 5%. Now let's take a look at this one. I'm just comparing for you. The sodium in this one, you'll be amazed. The sodium is 30% of the daily value intake. 30%, and it's 730 milligrams. So remember, 15% was a lot, so this is 30 per half a cup. That is huge. So it's really important to remember what you're actually looking for. And in my lifestyle of eating a clean, healthy, wholesome foods diet, I say it a diet, but it's a lifestyle for me. It's really important just to unprocess as much as you can. Anything white is really processed, like sugar. It's very, very highly addictive. Sodium is highly addictive, and those 2 things can make you hold on to your weight or actually gain weight. So when you're reading labels, those 2 things are really important to try to avoid. And so it's important when you go around the store, the more wholesome whole foods, the more natural state that you can get them in, the better. If you can do your own beans, do your own beans, because then you know what you're putting in, you know how much salt you're adding. But if sometimes you just need a quick fix because you're in a hurry, this one is pretty decent because it's low, there's no sugar, and the sodium content is low. So those are just 2 things to think about when you're reading labels. And I hope this has helped you just a little bit to understand. And oh, one more thing. You really want to watch the fats. You don't want to have any trans fats or the saturated fats, but the trans especially is really unhealthy. So avoid those oils and look for the healthier ones, which I talk about in another video. But I hope you've learned a little bit about reading labels. It's important to understand them for yourself. You can go and research on YouTube. There's lots there about them, about reading labels. So enjoy your next grocery shopping day, learning and looking at labels. Talk to you real soon. Bye for now.